Hey everyone, it's Nella here with Ethel, my soul doll Lily C, who you guys haven't seen in a while. Um, Not since I got her new eyes. I think it's because it was actually very easy to get her completed, um, to get her to where she actually really does feel and resemble the character she shells, compared to everyone else who's been really annoying and fussy. I'm looking at you, Fleur and Drew, who have to be reshelled. um, but anyway, this video isn't actually about her, but I just wanted to have her on camera because she is gorgeous. Um, I have an important announcement for everyone. I have finally been Soomed. Sort of. Admittedly, it is only one Soom doll, but is also the first Soom monthly doll I've actually immediately been like, oh yes, yes, I want that. Not, oh, that's kind of nice. That'd be sort of interesting to see. Isn't that? It was immediate like, ooh, I really like. And it wasn't actually looking at it on the company photos. I mean, I saw the company photos and I went, oh, yeah, that's nice. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of cute. No, what happened was last night, I had a wonderful meal with two of my cousins and my aunt and uncle. One, my family has, there's a lot of cousins, so I should specify. It is my cousin who is actually in the hobby. So it's always nice to catch up with her because she's in this crazy doll collecting hobby too. And she actually, I should say, whereas I was able to avoid being Soomed for a very long time, and my sister has never been Soomed, I make it sound like an infection. Sorry. But it sort of is. And if Soom is being Soomed is an infection, then my cousin is a carrier. More than a carrier, she's an agent of transportation. It's basically through her and through her getting Soom monthly dolls and bringing them to our local meets that we now have, I believe the total is 5 Soom Unicorn Fawn minis. We have 5. My cousin brought hers 1 month. Next month, there was another. 2 months after that, there was another 2. And then there was a 5th one that came in at some point. And it is all my cousin's fault. So I suppose it was a matter of time before she finally got me. Before the bug finally bit me. So, I was having a wonderful meal, and I ended up, of course, going to see some of her dolls, specifically the ones that she's in the process of sewing for, and we were talking, as collectors do, about different things, different tastes in the hobby, and one of the things is has been selling a number of her Soom dolls, because she'd realized she hadn't really done much with them. I'm sorry, this is taking a while, but I promise you this is building to something. Okay, so we're talking about, how she's selling stuff and, which one she's going to keep, how she really likes, of course, airbrushing the fantasy parts and having fun with that, but that they're so heavy, and then talking about how option heads oftentimes don't serve a lot of purpose, they just kind of sit in the box. And that's when I went, yeah, but sometimes the option heads have really interesting expressions that speak to you more than the normal heads. Now, take the Soom Cheshire Cat they released last year, for instance. And she looked at me and she went, you know, it's kind of funny you mentioned the Cheshire Cat. And I looked at her and I went, you have one? And yes, she does have one. She has not had a opportunity to blush him or really do anything with him since, of course, it is winter. The city we're in gets extremely cold, and there had been even colder than normal actually past month and a half. Dunny polar vortex. So, you know, he's blank. And I don't know, blank dolls usually seem very plain. They don't really have much spark in them. This boy does. Specifically the head that I had been admiring on the Soom website, which is the Soom Cheshire Cat surprise head. Because he has a smile, an open mouth, and he has little itty bitty fangs and pointed ears. Basically, he looks mischievous and so cute. So, what ended up happening was, you know, she let me, you know, pick him up, look at the surprise head, look at the paws, all of those good things. And we kept the box open as we were talking, and I kept doubling back and picking him up again and putting him back down and looking at his face while talking to her. And that's when she said something that actually made me stop and put him back into the box. One of the things she's really looking forward to, of course, is blushing the fantasy parts. But she got the Cheshire Cat to be a specific character, and she's not sure he's going to work out for that character. But she's not going to make a decision until spring because she wants to blush the fantasy parts, because they are really, really interesting, and she does amazing work. So I totally understand why she'd want to do that. And she said that since obviously I'm so enamored with the Cheshire Cat, that if it doesn't work out, if she does decide to sell him, she'll let me know. Because as she pointed out, A, she would know that he'd be going to a good home, because she knows that I take care of my dolls, that I play with them a lot. He would not be put in a closet somewhere and forgotten. And that, point B, it's not like she couldn't visit and go and see him again. So, obviously, spring is still a while away. It's long away enough. And, of course, obviously, you know, it all depends on how things work out on her end. But there's the possibility I might get a Soom doll. My very first Soom doll, and also my first really fantasy doll, really. So yes, spring come faster. Okay, this has turned out to be very long, even though I've tried recording this 3 times, and this is probably the shortest overall. So, I will leave you with some company photos of the Cheshire Cat and of his wonderful face. And also of a dream selfie I did up just randomly, trying to get the surprise face, sort of, in the dream selfie, and then using other bits of stuff that resemble things that I actually have that I'm going to be putting up for sale after school ends, because I'm going to be crazy busy with school. Oh, one last note. Actually, about the face. The surprise face is what I love. I'm actually really just kind of meh about his normal face. I know, it looks like a very typical Soom monthly face to me, which is actually one of the things that kind of turned me away from Soom monthly dolls in the past. I find the faces very bland. I mean, that means you can go crazy with the face up, but it doesn't have much personality on its own, in my eyes. And I know, I kind of like strange, unique faces. I mean, for goodness sakes, look at how round Ethel's face is. There we go. You know, like, that's not like a typical BGD face. Okay, this is really the end now. Bye.
What we gotta do is build momentum. If you need the right tools, invent them. Ride the wave, time, can't feel the rhythm. The march, the futures began, get with them. Your brain is to generate almighty power. Either do it now, your master plan goes sour. Yeah, it's already to take that fall. It's up to you to make that call to drop the bomb.